Hey, how's it? How's it, everybody? My name is Kilo. This is the Chaos Effect Mind. Welcome back. I definitely forgot to hit record on the video thing, and I'm gonna say it like I said the last 3 or 4 times. I am actually gonna post this video. Maybe I should stop saying that, because when I do say it, I don't post it. So yeah, I'm being intentional. I'm doing my best to be intentional about recording and releasing the things. I really just don't like the setup that I've had the last several times, so I've been trying to figure it out. I think I'm fucking with this one, you know what I mean? I call this little Kilo's Corner, Kilo's Chaos Corner, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm thinking I like this setup. I was also thinking when I was setting this shit up earlier that, I know that wired headphones are dope, but also, who asked them to be so fucking tangled all the time? They're dope. I love wired headphones. I love the nostalgia of big headphones over my ears. But yeah, who asked you guys to be so fucking tangled all the time? I don't know. Okay, so how's it, everybody? I know whatever holidays you celebrate, if you do, are coming up soon. Pray everyone has a good time, you know what I mean? Celebrating with family, eating, doing whatever you love to do, volunteering, whatever it is you choose to do. I pray you enjoy it, and I pray that, it's something that you love and that you're around people you love. All that there. Had to readjust. How to readjust. But yeah, so anyway, let's do a mad short pull, if you will. So let's get it. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. I mean, this headphone is falling out of my ear. Side note, can we run it back to when Samsung made AKG headphones for Samsung Androids? AKG, that's a pretty dope. I mean, if you don't know what AKG is, look it up. They specialize in studio equipment and headphones. Obviously, they made headphones for Samsung. So yeah. So the next couple of podcasts, I'm gonna do, I believe, what I would like to focus on is this messy ass notebook I have down here. Okay, so it's gonna be about five key points on embracing self-compassion as a spiritual practice. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna go over today, and then today I'll go over defining self-compassion and what that means as using it as a spiritual practice. Okay, because self-compassion can be so very easy to give to others, but when it comes to giving that same self-compassion back to ourselves, we're not so quick to do that. We tend to judge ourselves more harshly. We tend to tell ourselves more negative things. We don't end up being nice to ourselves, pretty much, which is the opposite of how that should go, right? Especially if we care about ourselves. I'm assuming everyone here cares about their well-beings if you're listening, and yeah, I'm just gonna guess that you probably care about your well-being, maybe just a little bit, a little tiny bit, a little bit. Yeah, anyway, so I don't know why I wrote this down. I really didn't write anything else, and I drive myself crazy when I do shit like this, but I wrote underneath this the Kendrick Lamar Count Me Out lyrics. So, and I'm thinking of this song. I haven't heard it in a while, but I love that song. I love when you count me out. Love when you count me out. Hey, and people be counting out the wrong motherfuckers. But that's okay. That's why the underdogs exist, right? That's why people are meant to be counted out, because I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that's what drives people in a way, right? Hold up, I looked up the lyrics right here. One of these lives I'm gonna make things right with the wrongs I've done. That's when I unite. I unite with the Father, Son. Till then I fight. Rain on me, put the blame on me. Got guilt, got hurt, got shame on me. Got 6 magazines that's aimed at me. Done every magazine was fame to me. Hey, Yeah, no, that shit is hard. But yeah, it's a game to me with a bedroom at. Sleep, I ain't never had a fez with that. Was fair when the hearts and the words don't reach. Was fair when the money don't take things back. Yeah, no, Kendrick, that entire, like, I actually just had a random ass conversation with someone. But let me stop because I'm gonna get way the fuck off track when it comes to talking about Kendrick Lamar right now, especially this past year. Boy, yeah, don't even get me started on that shit. So people just want to argue with me sometimes. I feel like I've made a post about this like last week. Like, I really have to be intentional, and I don't want to say careful when I go out, but sometimes, yeah, because like, I ask to show people more grace, and to like to be more compassionate when I step out, and not so quick to like get upset with other people because, again, you don't know what they're going through, you don't know what's happening. And I do find myself getting upset a lot. I mean, especially when I'm in a car sometimes, because people just can't fucking drive, okay? Like, and I usually my fallback, like what I like to say to people, like, and it depends on the tone, right? Because sometimes I mean it, and sometimes I'm really just like, are you okay? Are you good? Like, especially when, yeah, even if I go like out somewhere and like people are bumping into me, pushing me around, I'm like, yo, you good? But yeah, like I told my cousin, it all depends on the tone with me. Sometimes, I don't know, my facial expressions be on another level on accident. So yeah, let's get into it, even though it's 6 minutes in, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing, Kilo? What's going on? I pray you guys got something warm to drink. I got my apple cinnamon tea. It's still really hot. We're gonna see that shit. Oh, I'm scared. That was hot. That was fucking hot. We're gonna leave that alone. That shit is not gonna be. I'm not gonna be able to drink that right now, or maybe never during this podcast episode. But yeah, let's get into it. So, embracing self-compassion as a spiritual practice, right? So, what does embracing self-compassion as a spiritual practice require, and what does that mean to you? You know what I mean? Fuck what I have to say. What does that shit mean to you? Because you're the only one that can practice self-compassion with yourself, and you're the only one that can, yeah, be self-compassionate to yourself. You're the one that knows how hard you are on yourself. You're the one that knows how you talk to yourself. You're the one that knows how you think. So this is really like a self-questionnaire situation, okay? So as a spiritual practice, like, it involves cultivating kindness towards oneself, especially during moments of pain, failure, or inadequacy, and seeing oneself as worthy of love and acceptance. See, that's something that theme right there took me a long, long time to understand. Even if I feel I don't have people around me, or people that I used to think loved me or loved me, even as friends, family, whatever, aren't around me anymore, that I am still worthy of love regardless of who I have around me, just because I am me within myself, or I am one within myself. Okay, and you're really never alone if you're with the higher power, or whoever you believe in. Okay, so that's one thing that I had to remind myself over and over. It's easy to get lost in the outside world and trying to fix others and save others and do for others, but what does that do at the end? It tends to burn me out, in my opinion. But and then I end up not giving to myself. I end up not paying attention to what I need, things of that nature. And as nurturers, that is our nature, right? But is it nurture over nature, or nature over nurture? And they like to say, put the mask on first before you help anyone else. I don't really know how I feel about that analogy. Sometimes yes, but other times that's another podcast topic. We already 10 minutes deep. I haven't even scratched the surface. Pause. No diddy. But anyway, so self-compassion aligns deeply with teachings that emphasize love, forgiveness, and non-judgment. And self-compassion aligns deeply with teachings that emphasize love, forgiveness, and non-judgment, aka your spiritual practice, your religion, whatever you practice. And through a spiritual lens, self-compassion can be a reflection of divine unconditional love, which people's favorite thing to say is unconditional. Love does not exist, and it is not attainable. But I counter with this. How is unconditional love not attainable or not non-existent if you have that unconditional love for yourself. Okay, because in my eyes, when my dog was here, I still have unconditional love for that dog. She had unconditional love for me. So, in my opinion, if you are around an animal, have an animal you care about, doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter if it's an amphibian, like it could be a fish. You know what I mean? If you feel that unconditional love for that thing, does that mean it doesn't exist, or does it? Just saying. So, yes, self-compassion can be a reflection of divine unconditional love, and many spiritual and religious traditions teach that love and compassion are divine qualities inherent in every human being. Okay, because we are all divine in nature. Yes, absolutely. Even the most gnarliest motherfuckers you meet out there, divine in nature. Okay, that doesn't mean that they're not of God. That doesn't mean that they're just an asshole, really, in my opinion. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna keep saying that, in my opinion, in the highest regards. It's like, nah. But yeah, so for those with CPTSD, overcoming judgment, now judgment is like a huge part of like having self-compassion for yourself, because obviously, who are we the most judgmental of? We're around, like, I think I'm weird as fuck. You know what I mean? I was hella judgmental on myself, but that's the environment I was raised on. I was constantly called weird. I was constantly called strange. It's like a whole line of things. Like, my parents were my first bullies. It's a whole thing. But yeah, so overcoming that judgment can be an uphill battle, especially if you grew up in environments where you're constantly being condemned and judged for just trying to be yourself, even as like a kid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, kids definitely do some weird shit, but like to be like, you're fucking weird, man, and like write them off is like, that's not cute. Okay, so yeah, it definitely can be an uphill battle because it counters our harsh inner critic, which obviously our harsh inner critic wants us to feel like we ain't shit. That's the motherfucker that's kicking you while you're already down. Okay, and we don't need that. You know what I mean? Especially not to ourselves. Like, I'm the one kicking myself while I'm down. That's crazy. What are we doing? We want to breathe. We want to live. Help me. But yeah. So in the thing about challenging our judgments of ourselves and our inner critic, like, our self-compassion knows our inner critic is full of shit. It is totally full of shit, and it's not true. Like, any negative thing you probably have to say about is probably not fucking true. You know what I mean? Unless you're just straight up asshole, then you really need to do some deep digging and deep self-reflection. But I pray that those that are here and have found me are a little bit more awakened than that. But no judgment if you ain't. You just a dick. So it can be a survival mechanism that's often rooted in early trauma, being judgmental, being a self-critic, having a harsh inner critic, like I said. So letting go of judgment of self and others can be a step towards inner peace and connection to the divine, which is, who do we want to connect to while we're going through all these turmoil and all these tower moments and things of that nature, like uprooting of what we believe in and shit. It's the divine who we want to be close to. I gotta grab my computer for this other part. Yeah, we gonna vibe, okay? I got this beanbag. Yo, beanbags are always a good idea until you get it, and it's like, then the beanbagginess starts going away. All right, so how else can we practice self-compassion with ourselves, right? Healing through love and acceptance, right? So addressing feelings of unworthiness, as trauma survivors often carry a sense of shame and unworthiness. Self-compassion directly challenges these feelings, offering a path to reclaim personal dignity and self-respect. And spirituality mirrors teachings that each person is inherently worthy of love, which again is why I appreciate spirituality, because it truly, people like to say it's too broad because there's not one finite point of like what we're believing in, but it also is good to be so broad when we live in such an ever-changing world, right? Like, spirituality is accepting and non-judgmental of all things, of all beings, of all creatures. It doesn't really matter if you're purple and you have orange toenails and you have a mohawk. Like, these things, you could be a dinosaur. It wouldn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, spirituality is just accepting of all. So, and also practicing acceptance of the self is probably one of the things that was major for me as well, because if I felt that I was too weird to be around people, or too weird to even make friends, or just because I can be really awkward in person sometimes, not for any one reason. I'm just an awkward person sometimes, it's because it's crazy because I really don't, I don't enjoy small talk at all, but I'm very good at it. It's just the gift of gab. It's just something that runs in my family, and it's just something that I've always been good at. But I'm a little bit more, I guess, picky when it comes to who I entertain in that sense. Now, if someone comes up to me and talks to me, I'll see where the conversation's going, and if they're on some bullshit, I'm obviously gonna take my energy back and call my power back and try to step away from the conversation. But if they're trying to talk about something that, oh shit, I just turned off the mic, lol. It's like when I hit the mute button and I'm on the phone, except it takes me 20 minutes to realize. But yeah, gift of gab, it's real. So acceptance of self doesn't mean resignation, but embracing every part of who you are, including the imperfections that you see as imperfections. And this can resonate with spiritual ideas of wholeness and the integration of light and shadow within. So again, duality, duality definitely exists. And I don't like to say that we're separate in that duality, right? Like, we are of one of the duality. There might be two parts to duality, obviously. Dual, hello, Latin. Practicing practical spiritual tools for cultivating self-compassion can be loving kindness meditation, mantras and affirmations, journaling as a sacred act. So loving kindness meditation is nice because you can go to YouTube and even type in like loving kindness meditation. I'm sure you'll get a million hits on what pops up. I don't really have one in particular, but mantras and affirmations for one, and journaling as a sacred act have definitely saved my soul in a sense, because I've always loved writing. Writing is just something I've always been good at. I was a poet, or so I said, back in middle school, and I wrote songs. I was just writing all the time. So journaling in its essence can be very therapeutic for me. And that's why I like to practice automatic writing, which I don't recall, but I think I brought up in another podcast episode. Automatic writing can just be like, you set a timer for how long you want to write. You write for that amount of time, okay? Without stopping, without thinking. Don't lift up that pen. So maybe make it 5 minutes so your hand doesn't start to hurt, or keep, go up 10 minutes, whatever. Keep going. So that can be nice, because if you're being non-judgmental in that moment, like, you're truly connecting to the divine in that moment, right? Because you're just flowing from your pen. You're not flowing from your mind or whatever. You're not thinking about the thoughts that are coming out. That's essentially what meditation is as well, in my opinion. Your thoughts stopping, or you're not thought stopping, you're not thought absorbing, you're thought observing, which is something I really like to say. Oh my God, this isn't working anymore. Anyway, so yeah, repeating affirmations and mantras can be extremely helpful, especially when you're in a situation where you're feeling unloved or unworthy or judged, or like you don't fit in and things of that nature. I got affirmations and sticky notes all over like my rooms, and anywhere I'm at, I have at least one affirmation somewhere. If I don't, I'm a lie. You know what I mean? I'm a lie. Those things definitely help. And another thing I really enjoy too is subliminals, right? Because that seeps into your subconscious mind. It's not just your conscious mind. And you can listen to subliminals no matter where you are. I mean, read what the description says, because some of them say don't listen to them while driving, which is like, are you about to brainwash me? But yeah, so if you go to YouTube is a wonderful source for all of these things. Yeah, if I have any recommendations, I'll put them below, but I usually will just type in whatever I'm feeling and then subliminal after it, and it usually will pop up. So yeah. So the role of forgiveness in self-compassion. Self-forgiveness as a spiritual self-forgiveness as a spiritual practice, because trauma survivors, they can often blame themselves for whatever happened to themselves. And forgiving oneself is definitely a radical act of compassion that can liberate your spirit. And it mirrors teachings on forgiveness being key to liberation, right? Because when you're I was thinking about this earlier. When you're harboring things, like when you're trying so hard to remember why you were mad at somebody or remember what that fight was about, like you're just holding on to those negative feelings. Because like truthfully, if we just let it go, let it flow, yeah, it might have bothered us in the moment, but if we let it flow like it did, we probably wouldn't remember why we were even mad in the first place. I'm gonna be honest. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me make sure this shit's still recording, because you know how technology be technology. It's still recording. We're out here. We're out here, fam. Okay, so rituals of release. You can create creating rituals to symbolically release guilt or shame. You can write down self-critical thoughts and burning them. It can deepen the practice of forgiveness. One thing I like to do for like rituals of release, again, is dancing, flowing in any form. Sometimes I'll just throw on a beat and I'll just start freestyling, and like that is my way to transcend those negative feelings and the way I'm feeling. And if I'm beating myself up about something, I'll take it out in my art, I guess, in my creativity, because that's the best place for me to, that's I guess where I feel safest to do so. Okay, and so the last one would be the transformative power of non-judgment, right? Because of course you can walk around and just like, I don't know, I like to people watch. So obviously, you laugh at shit. Don't laugh at people, you know what I mean? But just laugh at scenarios. And without context, obviously everyone's gonna be like, oh, you're so fucking judgmental. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, you've never been judgmental a day in your fucking life. That's crazy. You're so perfect. Like, who made you not human? You're not even alien. You're not cool enough for that. But yeah, anyway. So viewing self-criticism with curiosity instead of condemnation can be like a very huge part in that, because when you're curious about something, you want to know more, you want to dig into it more. But when you're condemning something, that word just alone, even the way it's spelled, is like, oh shit, let me stay back. But yeah, like condemning is it can shift. The shift can reflect spiritual practices of mindfulness, where again, one observes thoughts without attachment or judgment. Again, thought observing, not thought absorbing, because we often absorb the thoughts and then we start to feel like shit, right? So, and then anytime I feel like shit, I instantly go like hug a tree or go outside and breathe, like deep breathe. Whoa. And then I do this, what is it, like 4-6-3 breath. I don't know. It's something where I breathe in for like so many seconds, hold it, and then breathe out for 6 seconds. So that's definitely helpful, because it slows down your heart rate. And to me, I feel like it slows down my brain. So I can like, oh, okay, I get it. Cool. It might take me a second to get there, but we get there. So, and then again, another power of non-judgment, or transformative power of non-judgment, would be just living compassionately, embodying self-compassion. Individuals often extend that same compassion outwards, which creates a ripple effect of kindness, and it can mirror, again, spiritual teachings about the interconnectedness of all beings. And I've tested this theory when I was out, especially if someone's being like a major dickhead. I mean, grocery stores seem to be a lot of where I end up encountering some of these people, but I have to check my energy too, right? Like I have to check my vibe as well. Like, am I being to the like unreasonable to the point where it's like I'm just instantly like, fuck this person, like I can't believe, oh my god, they got my grapes before, whatever the case may be, or do I just extend compassion? Like, for instance, I was at the grocery store the other day, and everyone was in this fucking aisle, and I don't know why. Like, there was nothing. And again, I feel like I go places, I end up drawing people there, and then they end up being in my way when I was there first. And it's like, whoa, bruh. Anyway, this little old lady was like blocking the thing. I was like, oh, okay, like I'll just let her browse, but she was honestly standing there for far too fucking long. So, this other girl's behind me. She's like trying to shuffle behind me. I'm like shuffling with her. I was like, oh, my bad. Like, she's like, oh no, it's okay. Like, I was like, yeah, there's lots of, I was looking for the dairy-free like cheese, but for some reason they have it in the middle of the cheese. So yeah, I was like, yeah, there's lots of cheese over here. Huh? So she swings around, her earring falls off on the ground. And I was like, what the fuck was that? So I looked down and I was like, yeah, miss, like you dropped your earring. This girl, you would have think that like I dropped her ice cream on the ground or something. I don't know. And she was like maybe my age, maybe a little bit older, but yeah, she starts like, her eyes start welling, and I'm like, yo, like, you know, I didn't even ask if you were good. I was just like, yo, like, it's okay, like, we got your earring back, it's okay, I'd have been sad too, whatever. And she was like, yeah, sorry, it's just the last thing I have for my grandma. I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, I have one last thing for my grandma too. It's supposedly this ring. I don't know if that's accurate, but yeah, the ring was supposedly my grandma's, and I lost her a couple years ago. And she was like, oh my God, I'm gonna start crying. She was already crying. So I was like, can I give you a hug? And she's like, oh my God, yes, please. And she starts crying even more. So I give her a hug, whatever, it's just a nice interaction. And it's like, that costs me nothing to like have that interaction with that lady. It cost me nothing to stop and be like, yo, like, you dropped that earring, and it went flying, and she was walking away as the earring dropped, so she wouldn't have known until she got home, and then maybe been real upset about it and couldn't find it. So it literally cost me nothing to have that interaction with that lady. And it's something that I'll carry around with me again, because people are walking around with the same burdens as us, maybe in different forms, maybe with different people, maybe in different ways in their life, but we just don't know that until we extend that self-compassion for ourselves, and then in turn it's extended to other people. Okay, and then they end up inintendedly, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, they inadvertently, I guess, end up extending that to others, and that shit is cool. That shit is definitely cool to see. So definitely just remember that embracing self-compassion as a spiritual practice, it can bridge the psychological and the spiritual dimensions of healing. So 3D, 5D, all the other DDDs. No diddy. It involves learning to treat yourself with the same love, acceptance, and non-judgment that spirituality often advocates for others. The practice not only supports healing from CPTSD, it also can open the door to profound spiritual transformation, which can foster a deeper connection with oneself, others, and the universe. Okay, so understanding all these things about ourselves, like, forget about understanding others. Forget about trying to figure out, how we can heal others, and how can we learn from others? You know what I mean? How can we learn from ourselves, and how can we treat ourselves the way we want to treat others, and how we treat others, and then in turn, again, treat ourselves that way, and extend that shit all the way around. Okay. I'm super excited. Yo, Mystic Tropical Wellness is my wellness company. I am dropping the link very, very soon. I'm gonna get my products uploaded up there. I got some salves, I got some aura sprays, I got some, I don't know, I think that's it for now, but yeah, I'm gonna make some other stuff and put it up there. But yeah, I will be dropping that link very, very soon, so stay on the lookout for that. If you made it this far, I appreciate you so much. Please follow me at the Chaos Effect Mind on everything except for X, aka Twitter, because they're whack and wouldn't let me put the whole fucking name. So Chaos Effect Mind for that. But yeah, follow me, holla at me. I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you again soon. Peace.